Hey guys, Corey with Palmetto Battery Pros, and today we're going to be doing a lithium conversion on this nicely restored Ezgo TXT. It is a 36 volt cart, and we are going to be installing the Eco battery 38.4 volt 105 amp hour battery. So I'll start off by discussing what comes with the battery and installation bundle. Of course, you have your 38 volt battery, main positive, negative post. Here's your communication port. Your on-off switch or on-off button is right here. It is a powder-coated steel shell. So now I'll go ahead and briefly discuss what comes in the installation bundle. You have your onboard charger. These are the output that's going to go to your positive and negative post on your main battery. This is the input, and it utilizes Eco Battery's Quick Connect, which is a secure and weatherproof connection. And that's going to connect to your charge port, charge receptacle replacement, which has your 110 male here at the end. So you'll just run an extension cord to charge your vehicle up. The kit does come with a really nice voltage meter, and we'll show you that when we go to install it. Mounting bracket for the voltage meter. Here's your wiring harness that's going to run up to your dash. Eco does provide the voltage reducer for all your 12 volt accessories. So there's only 48 volts at the terminal on the battery, so you're going to need to reduce that voltage down for all of your 12 volt accessories. And this is the wiring harness for the 12 volt reducer, which we'll also discuss here in a little while. So that's everything that comes in the installation bundle. So we've already gotten a little ahead of the video here, but we just went ahead and removed the lead acid batteries and completely cleaned this aftermarket tray out. We did end up notching out, which was mandatory, this tab right here, so the battery would fit down into the tray, and you can see it's a pretty tight fit. And we did drill the holes for the outside, and then again on this side we did nut and bolt the battery down to the frame. So at this point we'll go ahead and address the charge receptacle. We're going to be removing this old receptacle and replacing it with the one provided by Eco. These are rivets, so you're going to have to go ahead and get a drill bit, a nice drill bit, and drill these rivets out, and you will remove this charge receptacle. And on the back side of the charge receptacle, the white and the black, they're going to go to they went to your lead acid batteries. These are your main charging cables here, and this is your reed switch. This small, it could be, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's different color. This one's red, depending on the model. But we're going to find this red in here. We're going to cut it, put an eyelet on it, and we're going to run it to our positive post. And that's going to bypass the reed switch, which keeps the cart from working while you're charging it. And the Eco receptacle just slides right into place, and the holes are lined up, so you don't have to drill anything else out. You'll just put your nut and bolt in place, and you're good to go. It's a lot easier to tighten the nut down than to go at it with the Phillips head, and this is a 10mm nut. Okay, in regards to the voltage meter, we don't really have a great place on the dash to put it. This is typically going to be the best place to install the meter, and it's already starting to peel up, so I'm thinking we might just try to trim it off here and install it here. And the best way to cut your hole out is to use a hole saw, and the size for the Eco voltage meter is 2 1/16, and that's kind of a hard size to find. So if you can find a 2-inch hole saw, you can put your hole there with the 2-inch hole saw, and then just with a razor blade kind of notch it out, and it should be a nice snug fit. At this point, you'll go ahead and pop your cup holder off. There are 3 locking tabs here. You can use some trim pullers and pop this out, and that will give you access to the back. Okay, go ahead and run your wiring harness through the hole and plug into the back of the voltage meter, and you're not going to get it wrong. There's a 6-pin and a 4-pin. They only go one way. And then go ahead and slide your voltage meter into place. All right, next you're going to take your bracket and put it to the back of the voltage meter, and there are 2 posts that the bracket's going to go over, and then using the nuts provided, go ahead and tighten them down. So next we will go ahead and fish the other end of the wiring harness through the dash, and I will find other wiring harnesses and kind of securely zip tie them all the way down and back to the battery tray. All right, go ahead and fish your voltage meter wiring harness up through the into the battery tray and plug it into the voltage meter communication port. And just so you know, these 2 guys right here, they're not going to be used right now. They may be used in the future. They are CAN bus communication ports, but for right now, nothing hooks up to either of these 2 ports on the wiring harness. Once you have your voltage meter wiring harness run to your battery compartment and hooked up to the battery, and you have the bracket tight, we'll pull the slack back through, zip tie it together, and hide it here underneath the cup holder. And then you can go ahead and replace your cup holder. All right, so I like to mount my charger up as high as I can to, in case there's any splash up from the bottom. So I will typically use this bar across the top and self-tap into it. It's a very secure fit here. Sometimes I'll try to do a 3-point, but this is a good place to put the charger. And I also went ahead and installed the 12-volt reducer on the vertical strut of the battery tray. All right, now that I have everything run into the battery box here and I have everything mounted, I'm gonna go ahead and start installing all my wiring harnesses and doing some wire management and getting everything that needs to go to the post over here, getting everything squared away over here on the charge receptacle side. So go ahead and plug your wiring harness up for your 12-volt reducer, and we will secure the wiring harness up and around. We'll utilize all this space right here. Go ahead and plug up your 12-volt reducer wiring harness. And next we're going to do some wire management here. And we'll get these 2, the black and yellow, over to our 48-volt supply. And then we're going to hook up the red and black to our lights. And the last wire on the harness is the long orange. And the long orange needs to be energized. And it's supposed to run to the key switch, but you can also run it to the positive post on the battery. And I think in this cart, since he only has lights, I'm gonna run this right to the battery instead of running it to the key switch. And I'll discuss that here more in a minute. So the reason I'm not gonna run the orange to the key switch like I normally do is because this model Ezgo TXT has the this panel right here. It's a metal panel and it's riveted in place. And once you remove these rivets and drill it out, it never goes back in and secures properly. So I try to leave this alone if at all possible. And since this customer only has lights running to his 12-volt supply, we can just take that long orange, do some wire management, and run the eyelet to the positive post on the battery. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and hook everything up to our battery. So we're gonna start with the positive side, and we're gonna go smallest to biggest touching the terminal. First up, you have your reed switch bypass, which was the small wire out of the back of the original charge receptacle that we cut halfway and put an eyelet on it. It's gonna bypass the reed switch. Next is the long orange from our 12-volt reducer. After that is the 48-volt supply for our 12-volt reducer. Next is our onboard charger eyelet. And lastly is the B positive, which runs to your controller in this cart. Go ahead and get those to the terminal. Tighten them down. It is a 13mm bolt. And you want to get it nice and tight, not too tight. You don't want to damage the terminal, but you don't want any wiggle room whatsoever. Replace your terminal protector. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the negative side. And on the negative side, smallest to biggest, you have your negative from your 12 volt reducer. This is the 48 volt supply. Next you have your onboard charger negative. And lastly, your main negative cable, which also runs directly to the controller. And that's the B negative. Okay, now we've done some basic wire management here, and it looks pretty good. And I usually utilize the controller, and I'll hide some of this stuff better back there. And again, we have it run up and along the frame. And now we just have to hook up our 12 volt accessory, which the only one they have is lights. And luckily it is very long. So I'm going to run it and secure it all the way over here. And then you see positive and negative on the lights. And here is my positive and negative from my 12 volt reducer. So I'm just gonna run it up and along here and tie in somewhere down and around there, do some wire management, and we should be good to go. And the last thing that we're gonna do to complete this install is we are going to hook up the charger input, but we're gonna go ahead and hook it up to the back of the charge receptacle. Secure this wiring harness here and do some wire management and make it look good, and we'll be just about finished. All right, so I've done some last minute cleaning and wire management, and this is the end result of the 38 volt 105 amp hour installation into an Ezgo TXT. Now we're going to go ahead and cycle the battery on, make sure everything works. Press the button, it illuminates. The voltage meter will turn on. All right, go ahead and put your cart in the on position. Put it in forward and gently hit the gas just to make sure you have operation, solenoid activation and cart operation. So we're good to go there. So as you can see, we're at 57%. And this battery, when you get your battery and you install it, it does need to be max charged. So get your heavy duty extension cord, something that can handle 15 amps. Go ahead. And this will activate the onboard charger, which will now kick on and run a complete charge cycle. And once this battery is fully max charged, you're good to go. So this is a super nice 36 volt Ezgo TXT, and now it has been upgraded to lithium. It's a little bit windy today, but this cart did limp in the shop. So let's see what we have now with the new lithium battery. All right, it's nice and peppy. Has really good pickup. I'm sure he's going to be very excited about the range he's going to get out of this cart. So this cart limped in the shop and it was probably doing about 12 miles an hour, but as you can see right here, we were able to get it up to right over 18 miles an hour on a straightaway. So yeah, the customer's going to be really happy about that. All right guys, that's it for the installation video of Eco Battery's 38 volt 105 amp hour battery and a Ezgo TXT. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or feel free to call us during normal business hours. Also, we have these batteries for sale by phone or on our website at www.palmettobatterypros.com. You can purchase the battery, we'll ship it to you. And yeah, we'd be happy to help you out. We're with our customers through the purchasing process all the way into ownership. So we're here to help. And if we missed anything or if there was an easier way to do something, please leave that in the comments below. We are not know-it-alls, and we always like learning new things. So we appreciate that. And hit that like and subscribe button to see more lithium unboxing and installation videos from us. We have videos coming out on different types of lithium products and different applications. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, y'all.